Halo, apa kabar teman Babox? Selamat datang di channel kami. Di sini kita akan membahas tentang 5 bangunan kuno yang wajib dikunjungi di Banten. Banten memang tak bisa terlepas dari sejarah kunonya, mulai dari zaman keraton hingga zaman penjajahan Belanda. Hal ini terbukti dengan berbagai macam bangunan kuno yang masih tersisa, di antaranya yang paling menarik dan wajib dikunjungi yaitu yang pertama, Istana Keraton Kaibon. Istana Kaibon adalah sebuah istana tempat tinggal Ratu Aisyah, ibunda dari Sultan Saifuddin. Bentuknya hanyalah tinggal reruntuhan saja. Di sampingnya ada sebuah pohon besar dan sebuah kanal. Menurut penduduk sekitar, dulunya ini adalah sebuah istana yang sangat megah. Namun, pada tahun 1832, Belanda menghancurkannya saat terjadi peperangan melawan Kerajaan Banten. Yang kedua, Istana Keraton Surosowan. Tidak jauh dari Istana Keraton Kaibon, terdapat sebuah situs Istana Surosowan yang merupakan kediaman para Sultan Banten. Istana ini dibangun pada tahun 1552. Dibanding Istana Kaibon yang terlihat masih berupa bangunan, Istana Surosowan hanya tinggal berupa sisa-sisa bangunannya saja. Sisa bangunan megah ini berupa benteng yang terbuat dari batu merah dan batu karang dengan tinggi 0,5 sampai 2 meter saja. Yang ketiga, Masjid Agung Banten. Masjid Agung Banten terletak di kompleks bangunan masjid di Desa Banten Lama, Kecamatan Kasmen, sekitar 10 km sebelah utara kota Serang. Masjid ini dibangun pertama kali oleh Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin dari tahun 1552 sampai 1570. Sultan pertama Kesultanan Demak. Yang keempat, Benteng Spelwich. Lokasi ini tidak jauh dari Masjid Agung Banten. Benteng ini dibangun sekitar tahun 1585. Menurut informasi lainnya sih 1682. Dahulu, Benteng Spelwich digunakan sebagai menara pemantau yang berhadapan langsung ke Selat Sunda dan sekaligus berfungsi sebagai penyimpanan meriam-meriam dan alat pertahanan lainnya. Di tempat ini juga terdapat sebuah terowongan yang katanya terhubung dengan Keraton Surosowan. Yang kelima, Danau Tasikardi. Danau ini terletak tidak jauh dari Istana Kaibon. Konon, danau tersebut luasnya 5 hektar dan bagian dasarnya dilapisi oleh batu bata. Pada masa itu, danau ini dikenal dengan nama Situ Kardi yang memiliki sistem ganda. Selain sebagai penampung air di Sungai Cibanten yang digunakan sebagai pengairan pesawahan, danau ini juga dimanfaatkan sebagai pasokan air bagi keluarga keraton dan masyarakat sekitarnya. Berikut ialah 5 bangunan kuno yang wajib dikunjungi di Banten menurut versi Babox. Bila ada salah-salah kata, tolong dimaafkan. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Wabihi nasta'in wa ala umuri dunya waddin. Wassalatu wassalam asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will meet again. I'll talk in online, no problem. Okay, we will from 7 group. We will be presented about information on some tourism object in Banten Lama, aside from video. Okay, let's start the presentation with basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, the first presentator is Dewi Sahnas. Dewi Sahnas, time is yours. The Old Banten Tourism Complex is some of the historical sites of the Sultan to find include Kaibon Palace, Surosoan Palace, Banten Great Mosque, Spellwich Fortress, Banten Archaeological Museum, Avalokiteshvara Faradan Lake, and Tasikardi. Since 1995, the Old Tourism Banten Complex has been proposed to UNESCO to be one of the World Heritage Sites, but in this area it is still poorly maintained by both the government and surrounding communities.
Material is about logo Old Banten Tourism. The Old Banten Tourism Complex logo uses the Banten Provincial Government logo because the Old Banten Tourism Complex is under the auspices of the Provincial Government of Banten. It means the logo has the meaning of it. And cited from Government Regulation 77 2007, Chapter 1, Article 1, Number 4, said that the regional symbol was a banner of greatness and a cultural symbol for regional communities that reflect the uniqueness of the region in the Unitary State Republic of Indonesia. Then, the third material about some tourism objects in Banten Lama. The first is Kraton Surosoan. Kraton Surosoan or Surosoan Palace is a legacy from the Kingdom of Banten, which has been built since 1522, began to compile during the reign of Maulana Hasanuddin, and the history of the construction of the palace is inseparable from the granting of the authority handed over by Sunan Gunung Jati to the descendant of Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin. Like the palace in Java, Surosoan Palace is also the residence of the Sultan with his family and followers. And another function, the palace also became the center of the kingdom in carrying out the government of the Kingdom of Banten. This can be seen in the pattern followed by other Islamic kingdoms on Java, which have alun-alun in the north, the Great Mosque in the west, and markets and park in the east and north sides of the palace. In 1672 up to 1687, the shape of the palace changed when the government was led by Sultan Haji. This government was carried out because the palace was repaired by the Dutch in 1680. It was assisted by the Dutch construction expert named Hendrik Lucas. For his service, a Dutch construction expert who converted to Islam was given the title by the Sultan by the name of Prince Wiraguna. In 1813, the Dutch, led by Herman den Lus, attacked again. The palace became the main target with the destruction of the city and made the Sultan and his inhabitants restore the palace. These remains are now visible in the ruins. The keratin structure uses a mixture of the sand and lime as the consideration for how the Banten language was in the 17th century. And nowadays, Kraton Surosoan became one of tourism object in Banten. And the interesting about this palace are the circular entrance, which brace wall at both ends, and the function of the brick wall is to avoid scouts from outside the palace. And, and many of tourism come to Banten Lama to see and enter the Keraton Surosoan. You can see the picture uh, on the view that we can go there and we can see the
Okay, here I want explain about the situs Istana Kaibon. Istana Kaibon is a place where Ratu Aisyah lived, the mother of Sultan Saifuddin. The shape is just ruins. Beside him was a big tree and canal. According to the local people, it used to be a very grand palace. Now, in 1832, the Dutch destroyed it during the war against the Kingdom of Banten. Now, this place is often used for wedding receptions, even though it violates it. And the next is Green Mosque Banten. The mosque itself was first built in 1556 by Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin. Apart from being a place of worship for Muslims, the tower in the mosque functioned to echo the call to prayer and weapon storage. Now serves as an observation post to enjoy the natural beauty of the area. Besides being one of the religious tourist destinations in Indonesia, this mosque is also one of the historical tourist destinations in Banten. Lots of historical values possessed by this one mosque. The mosque itself was first built in 1556 by Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin, who was the first sultan of the Sultanate of Banten. He himself was also the son of Sunan Gunung Jati, who also ruled Cirebon. Aside from being a place of worship for Muslims, this mosque is also a focal point for the struggle of the people of Banten. One point is the tower in the mosque, besides functioning to echo the adhan when the prayer time has arrived. Adhan meaning is azan. The tower is also one of the weapon storage locations, although now the function of the tower has turned into a kind of viewing post to enjoy the natural beauty of the region. If we go further, the architecture of the Banten Mosque can be said to be quite unique and interesting. This is because this mosque has several parts that come from mixing cultures. One of them is the roof of the mosque, which is composed of five. At first glance, it is seen as similar to a pagoda. It is the work of Chinese architecture Jack Ban Chut. Now, the mosque area is often visited by tourists who do not deserve to enjoy the beauty of the existing viewer. However, he also wanted to visit the towns in the mosque area.
Alright, I will present about Spillwick Forest. Spillwick Forest is a dark relic located in Pamarisan village. The Spillwick Forest is unique and different from the other because the architect designed and built this fort architect was ruled by Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa. Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa is the son Sunan Gunung Jati. Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa, a Chinese descendant who later held the title prince. The fort itself aimed to prevent Banten from invading invaders who want to enter from the sea. So, the construction of this fort was in 1682 and it was destroyed in 1685. So, the function of this fort was to guard against maritime attacks. And next, about Tasikardi. Tasikardi is a lake. Tasikardi, which comes from two Sundanese word, namely Tasik and Ardi, which mean artificial lake. Tasikardi has beautiful views, and near the lake there is a camp which was once the Sultan's family recreation place, located in Kramat Watu. So this lake Tasikardi is not only a good view, but for cheap entry ticket at the time and can be for quality time with family. Then the tourism attraction is in the Old Banten side. I think that is all about our presentation. Thank you.